Hey guys, my name's Rob. I'm going to take you through about a 30-minute session today, just a low impact session. This exercise class would be great for older adults, but also great for anyone that has mobility issues or managing any kind of injuries at the moment. What you need for this exercise class is just pretty much a chair and also a rolled up towel just to use within this session. In terms of safety, just always choose the exercises that are best suited to your ability and your fitness levels. And also, in terms of the exercise during the session, there will always be regressions and progressions of these exercises. So if we're ready to go, we're going to start with some just low impact exercise, just starting with some stretches first, just to warm up. We're going to start standing nice and tall first for our first couple of exercises. So focusing on keeping our shoulders down and relaxed, we're just going to move into nice gentle head turns to the left to start with. So nice gentle head turn to your left to start, and a head turn to your right. Head turn to your left, and to your right, and once more to your left, and once more to your right. Good, and relax there. We'll move into some shoulder shrugs next, so just warming up the shoulders by raising shoulders nice and high, rolling shoulders back and down, raising shoulders high, rolling back and down, and two more, raising high, back and down, and once more, nice and high, back and down. Next we'll move into some nice gentle torso rotation from one side to the other. Just really warming up the trunk muscles, nice gentle rotation, left to right, great work. And rest there. Next we're going to move into some shoulder circles, just warming up the shoulder muscles, so raising shoulders nice and high in line with shoulders, and just go into some small circles to start, nice and gentle small circles. And let's go into some large arm circles moving forward. Good. We'll move backwards now, so small arm circles moving back, and some large arm circles moving back. Great work. Next from there, we'll place hands on hips for our next exercise. We're going to move into some nice gentle hip circles, going clockwise to start. So just small circles to start, just warming up the hips. And let's move into some large hip circles. Great work. Let's go the opposite way, now going anti-clockwise, small circles to start. And large hip circles moving the opposite way. Great work, and relax there. Next we're going to start with feet in a narrow stance, so roughly about hip width apart, placing both hands on mid-thigh, gently going to a nice gentle pull down, so slowly reaching down where you feel comfortable, nice and slow, and coming up nice and tall. We're going to interlace our fingers together and press nice and high towards ceiling, really stretching the arms, just taking where you feel comfortable. Good, and coming back down once more, nice and slow, reach down. Good, back up, nice control, interlacing fingers, pressing up nice and tall towards ceiling once more. And let's go into a nice slow bend to your left. And a nice slow bend to your right. Good, and relax arms down. Next, we can bring your chair in just to support balance. We're going to do some leg swings next for our next exercise. So bring your chair in just to support your balance. We're going to stand nice and tall and move into a leg swing first. So just go into some forward and back leg swings. Good, nice and gentle. And relax there. We'll switch across to the other side. Nice forward and back swings on the other leg. Great work. Now we're just going to hold onto the chair. We're going to perform our next exercise. We're just going to perform some heel raises. So just raising nice and tall on toes, heels coming off the floor, holding at the top for a few seconds, and gently controlling down. Just really warming up the calf muscles, raising nice and tall, back down slow, And we go 2 more, raising tall, holding, back down slow, and raising tall, holding, and back down slow. Great work. Next exercise, we're going to perform some gentle cardio-based exercise just to warm up our body, warm up our joints before we move into our main workout. We're just going to go into some marching on the spot to start with, so just raising high knees, wherever you feel comfortable, just warming up the knees into a nice high raise of the knees. Again, you can hold to a chair if you feel more comfortable. Good, we're going to go for another about 10 seconds, just raising the knees in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great work. Next, we're going to move into some heel raises, or not heel raises, sorry, some heel flicks. So heel flicks from one side to the other. Just really getting those heels as far back as you can. Again, you can hold on to a chair if you like. Just moving into those heel flicks. Good. Another 10 seconds. Keep doing well. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax there. Great work, everyone. We're going to move into our main workout now. So we're going to move into our first 2 exercises. For our first 2 exercises, we're going to move into a nice gentle squat to start with, or a sit to stand. Really depends on which one suits your body best in terms of your mobility, plus also if you're managing any injuries. So in terms of the basic exercise to start with, we're going to a nice controlled squat. We're going into arms across chest or arms on hips. So it really depends which one feels more comfortable for yourself. For this exercise, really focusing on nice controlled descent. So really just taking the hips back, bending the knees, slowly lower it down where you feel comfortable. And we're going to slowly drive tall, focus on tucking the pelvis, squeezing the bottom muscles as you drive back tall. So nice control down, and raising up nice and tall. So this is that's your basic exercise to start with. If you'd like to regress the exercise, just because you're managing any kind of knee issues, if you've got any kind of joint-based issues around the knees, you can perform a seated-based exercise. So you can do a sit-to-stand-based option, where you're sitting on the chair, hands immediately across the chest or on the hips. We're going to go into a nice slow raise. Again, focusing on tucking the pelvis, squeezing the bottom muscles, and then slowly coming down as a regression option. If that still feels quite low for your knees, you're more than welcome to pop a pillow or place something on the chair to raise the chair a bit higher so it feels more comfortable on the knees. And then lastly, a progression is if you really want to try and make that exercise a bit harder, you can also hold on to a pair of dumbbells, or if you've got any weighted objects at home, like a filled up water bottle, some canned fruit, you can hold that in your hand in a goblet squat position, and you can go into a nice gentle squat also. So that's our first exercise. We're going for 10 of the first one and 2 rounds. Second exercise, we're going into an underarm row with the overhead raise. So with this exercise, you do need a rolled up towel, or if you do have a band at home, you can use a furry band at home. So in this position, we're starting with underhand grip. So gripping towel just like this, roughly about shoulder width apart. And we're going into a nice underarm row first. So in this position, we're going into just a nice slow underarm row, but slowly starting with a hip hinge position. So slowly just take hips back, and we're going to a nice slow row towards your belly button, squeezing those shoulder blades together, pushing towel forward, staying tall, and going to a nice overhead raise, back down slow. So once more, we're pushing hips back, we're rolling towards your belly button, squeezing shoulder blades together, back down, forward, overhead raise, back down. For any reason, if that doesn't feel comfortable in the shoulders, I'm more than happy for you to go into a bicep curl instead of the overhead raise. So we're going to do 2 rounds of that exercise. So if ready to go, let's go to our first round. So 2 lots of 10 of each exercise. Let's go into our squat position first. Feet in position, arms either across chest, on the hips, either seated or standing. Really depends on you. And let's go for 1. So nice controlled squat down. Really controlled down, going to where you feel comfortable. Driving up, squeezing glutes for 1. Let's go for 2. Nice controlled lower, controlled down, drive tall, squeeze glutes for 2. Let's go for 3. Control down, keeping the core muscle nice and strong. drive tall, squeeze for 3, let's go for 4. Nice, controlled lower, pause, drive tall for 4, let's go for 5, controlled down, lower, drive tall, squeeze for 5, halfway, 5 more to go, let's go for 6, controlled down, lower, drive tall, squeezing for 6, let's go for 7, nice, controlled down, lower, drive tall for 7, let's go for 8, controlled down, lower, drive tall, squeeze for 8, let's go for 9, controlled down, lower, drive tall for 9, and let's go for 10, controlled down, lower, up tall for 10. Great work. We'll move into our second exercise now, the towel underarm row. So we're ready, standing nice and tall, hands in position, and let's go for 1. So hips slowly coming back where you feel comfortable, rolling towards belly button, squeezing those shoulder blades together, arms down, hips forward, slow raise, down for 1. Let's go for 2. Slowly moving hips back, rolling towards belly, back down, hips forward, raising tall for 2. Let's go for 3. Hips back, nice and slow, rolling towards belly, down, hips forward, overhead raise for 3. Let's go for 4. Hips back, nice and slow, rolling, squeezing, down, hips forward, overhead raise for 4. Let's go for 5. Hips back, nice and slow, rolling towards stomach, down, hips forward, overhead raise for 5. 5 to go. Let's go for 6. Hips back, nice and slow, rolling towards stomach, down, forward, overhead raise, back down. Let's go for 8. Hips back, nice and slow, rolling, squeezing, down, forward, overhead raise for 8. Final 2. Let's go for 9. Hips back, nice and slow, rolling, squeezing, down, forward, overhead raise for 9. And let's go for 10. Hips back, rolling, squeezing, down, hips forward, overhead raise for 10. Great work, everyone. Getting a bit warm now. We've got one more round of each exercise. So let's go back into the first exercise, our squats. And let's go hands across chest or hands on hips. Let's go for our final 10. Let's go for 1. Nice, slow, decent. Control down, lower, drive tall for 1. Let's go for 2. Control down, lower, pause, drive tall for 2. Let's go for 3. Control down, lower, pause, drive, squeeze glutes for 4. Let's go for 5. Control down, lower, drive tall, squeeze halfway. Let's go for 6. Control down, lower, drive tall for 6. Let's go for 7. Control down, lower, drive tall for 7. Let's go for 8. Control down, lower, up tall for 8. Let's go for 9. Control down, lower, up tall for 9. And let's go for 10. Control down, lower, up tall for 10. Great work, everyone. One more round of exercise, and we can have a quick drink of water if you need a quick break. Let's go, standing nice and tall again. Towel in your hand, and let's go for 1. Hips back, nice and slow. Rolling towards belly, squeezing, down slow, hip forward, raise tall for 1. Let's go for 2. Hips back, nice and slow. Rolling towards belly, down, hips forward, raising tall for 2. Let's go for 3. Hips back, nice and slow. Rolling, squeezing, down, hips forward, raise tall for 3. Doing well. Let's go for 4. Hips coming back, rolling towards belly, squeezing those shoulder blades, down, hips forward, raise for 4. Let's go for 5. Hips back, rolling, squeezing, down, hips forward, raise tall for 5. Halfway. Let's go for 6. Hips back, nice and slow. Rolling, squeezing, down, hips forward, overhead raise for 6. Let's go for 7. Hips back, nice and slow. Rolling, squeezing, down, hips forward, overhead raise. Let's go for 9. Hips back, nice and slow. Rolling, squeezing, down, forward, overhead raise. And let's go for 10. Hips back, rolling, squeezing, down, hips forward, overhead raise for 10. Great work, everyone. If you need a quick drink of water, just feel free to have a quick drink. We're going to perform some stretches just to kind of have a bit of a break between our exercises. If you like to stretch, we can go into a nice gentle hip stretch by taking one step out to the side, one toe pointing forward, other toe pointing up wide. Just gentle lean to the side that's pointing up to the wall or the side of the room. Just stretching out the inside of the thighs, going to where you feel comfortable and holding there. Good. And we'll switch across to the other side. A slow push, holding, and stretching out the other side. Great work. And relax there. We're going to go into our next two exercises now. So our next two exercises are really working on the upper body. So we're going into some either towel pushes seating in the chair, or if you like to progress that exercise, we're going to a push-up on the chair. So it really depends where you feel comfortable. So the standard exercise, if you like, you can use a chair to perform a slow, controlled push-up. So if you feel comfortable with your shoulder mobility and also your wrist ability, you can go into a nice controlled push-up and then pushing up tall on an elevated surface for our first exercise. Otherwise, you can also use a wall. So if you feel like you want to try that exercise, but that's too much of a progression for you, you can always use a wall to perform a wall-based push-up. A bit safer on the wrist and also less impact. Otherwise, you can always take a seat if you find those too difficult. You can go into a seated press forward instead, coming back, press forward, and then coming back nice and slow. So still a same motion in terms of a pushing movement, but we're performing this as a regression. So the standard exercise is the chair-based option, or you can regress down to the wall, or even that seated exercise for our second exercise, for our first round with these new exercises. And the second exercise, we're performing a nice gentle wood chop, so working on the core muscle. So we're using a towel for this exercise. We're starting with feet nice wide, just with a nice strong base, so roughly about shoulder width apart. We're coming to a nice slow rotation and a rotating towards ceiling. Nice lower, rotating towards ceiling. Nice controlled lower, rotating towards ceiling. So really thinking about using those core muscles, so stomach muscles, trunk muscles, to rotate towards ceiling. Try keep your knees soft also. In terms of regression, you can also perform this exercise in a seated version where you're sitting on the chair, nice slow rotation, rotating towards ceiling. Nice slow rotation, rotating towards ceiling. And a tip for this exercise, also make sure you rotate your head when you're rotating towards the other side of the room. So that will just allow a bit more rotation through the trunk when you're performing this exercise. All right, if you're ready to go, guys, just choose which option suits your body again, suits your ability, and if you're managing any injuries, just choose the exercise that suits you best. So ready? Hands back on. Either seated, on the wall, on the chair, we're performing 8-4 together. So ready? Let's go for 1. So slow, lower, pause, push up tall for 1. Good, keep those shoulders down. Let's go for 2. Control down, lower, push tall for 2. We'll go for 3. Control down, lower, push tall for 3. We'll go for 4. Control down, lower, push down for 4. Let's go for 5. Control down, lower, push tall for 5. Last couple, let's go for 6. Control it down, lower, push for 6. Let's go for 7. Control it down, lower, push tall for 7. And let's go for 8. Control it down, lower, push tall for 8. Great work, everyone. Just for that exercise, if the chair's too low, you can also use a higher object. So if you've got like a table or a couch at home that you prefer to use, you can also use that instead. Okay, second exercise, we're going into our wood chop based exercise. So ready, staying nice and tall, we're going into our wood chop. So we're ready, we're going down to the left side first, so let's go for 1. So let's bring the towel outside of the hips, raise and rotate towards ceiling for 1. Let's go for 2. Control down, rotate for 2. Let's go for 3. Down, control, rotate for 3. Let's go for 4. Down, control, rotate for 4. Let's go for 5. Down, control, rotate for 5. Let's go for 6. Down, control, rotating for 6. Last 2. Let's go for 7. Down, rotate for 7. And let's go for 8. Rotating for 8. Great work, everyone. Switching to the other side. And let's go for 1. Control down, drive, rotate for 1. Let's go for 2. Down, control. Rotate for 2. Let's go for 3. Down, control. Rotating for 3. Let's go for 4. Down, control. Rotate for 4. Last couple, let's go for 5. Down, control. Rotating for 5. Let's go for 6. Slow, lower. Rotate for 6. Let's go for 7. Down, control. Rotate for 7. And final one, let's go for 8. Down, control. Rotating for 8. Great work, everyone. One more round of each exercise. After these 2 exercises, we are going to move into some nice gentle stretches. So, already going back into your push-up based exercise, again, whichever option suits you best. If you want to go into a high surface, you can also. When you're ready to go, let's go for our final 8. So let's control it down, pause, push for 1. Let's go for 2. Control down, pause, push for 2. Let's go for 3. Control down, pause, push for 3. Let's go for 4. Control down, pause, push for 4. Let's go for 5. Control down, pause, push for 5. Let's go for 6. Control down, lower, push for 6. Final 2. Let's go for 7. Control down, lower, push for 7. And let's go for 8. Control down, lower, push for 8. Great work, everyone. One more exercise before we move into some stretches. And let's go for a final round of wood chops. And let's go for 1. Control down, lower, rotate for 1. Let's go for 2. Control lower, rotate for 2. Let's go for 3. Control it down, lower, rotate for 3. Let's go for 4. Control down, lower, rotate for 4. Let's go for 5. Down, lower, rotate for 5. Let's go for 6. Control lower, rotate for 6. Final 2. Let's go for 7. Control down, lower, rotate for 7. And let's go for 8. Down, lower, rotate for 8. Awesome work, everyone. One more side. And let's go for 1. Down, lower, rotate for 1. Let's go for 2. Control down, lower, rotate for 2. Let's go for 3. Down, lower, rotate for 3. Go for 4. Down, control, rotate for 4. Halfway, let's go for 5. Down, lower, rotate for 5. Let's go for 6. Down, control, lower, rotate for 6. Let's go for 7. Down, control, rotate for 7. And let's go for 8. Down, control, rotating for 8. Awesome work, everyone. Good job. Have a quick break if you need one. Grab a quick drink of water. We're going to move into some nice gentle stretches now. So if you've got a mat, you're more than welcome to set your mat on the floor. These exercises, you can either perform these exercises on the floor or on the chair. So you've got 2 options for these exercises. So if you prefer to stay seated in your chair, you're more than welcome to. These stretches can be done on the chair also. Otherwise, you can also perform these stretches on the floor. Okay, if you're ready, guys on the floor, we're lying flat first. We're going to a nice gentle lower back stretch. So we're keeping our left leg nice and straight. We're bending our right knee for the first exercise, and we're just gently rotating across the body into a nice controlled lower back stretch and holding there for the next about 20 seconds or so. Guys that are on the chair, you're performing a seated twist option. So you're just sitting on the chair into a nice gentle rotation, just gently twisting where that feels comfortable and looking towards the other side of the room. Good work. Just focus on your breathing also. So nice deep breaths in through your nose, big breaths out through your mouth. Great work, everyone. Let's switch to the other side. So same stretch. So if you're on the floor, just taking that knee across the other side of the floor. If you're on the chair, just a nice gentle twist, like myself. Great work. Next stretch we're going to move into, so you can relax there now. We're just going to move into a nice gentle glute stretch. So if you're on the floor, we can tuck one leg across, so taking pretty much foot on top of the other thigh, interlacing one hand between the gap, one the outside, fingers together, interlacing and just gently pulling back where you feel comfortable, holding that stretch there, keeping your lower back nice and flat on the floor. Guys on the chair, we are taking your feet on the chair. We're going to take one leg over, one hand on the inside of the knee, gently pushing down to stretch out your glutes and a bit of your hips. If your flexibility doesn't allow you to perform this stretch, you can also place the bottom of your foot, onto the inside of your calf and just gently push that knee down just to stretch out hips. And it's a little bit of a glute stretch also, but more of a hip stretch. Good work around. Let's switch across to the other side. So guys on the floor, just switching to the other leg. Guys on the chair, same stretch, sitting up nice and tall. Either a leg on top of the thigh or inside of the calf, just gently pushing down. Great work. From here, guys on the floor, we're going to roll onto one side and go into a nice gentle quad stretch. So keeping bottom leg nice and straight, placing your hand onto the front of your foot or on the front of your ankles, just gently pulling you back where that feels comfortable, stretching it out the front of your thigh muscles, holding that position there. Guys on the chair, you can either stand up nice and tall whilst holding this stretch while standing. If your mobility or your range of motion doesn't allow you to perform that stretch, you can also use a chair and place foot on the chair. Just make sure you're holding onto the chair also and stretch out quads whilst placing leg or foot onto the chair, holding that stretch there, stretching out the front of your thighs. Good. We'll switch across to the other side, so same stretch, just switching across to the other leg. So again, choosing which option suits you best, stretching out the front of your thighs. Great work, guys. Focus on that breathing again. Perfect, and relax there. Next stretch we're moving into is we're going to roll onto your stomach for your next stretch. We're placing elbows directly under shoulders, hands onto the floor, gently just lifting chest off the floor, looking forward, really just stretching out the thoracic, so the upper back muscles, looking forward, just really pushing elbow towards into the floor and lifting chest up, keeping shoulders down. So holding that stretch for the next 10 to 15 seconds. Guys on the chair, very similar stretch. I want you to stand up nice and tall, holding onto a chair, gently standing about a step away from the chair, just gently arch your lower back where that feels comfortable, looking towards the ceiling, pushing down to the chair. Great work. And relax back down. And then we'll move gently into a child's pose. So when you're ready, gently sitting hips back, arms nice and extended, sitting hips where you feel comfortable, really reaching out arms nice and straight. Just really stretching out the upper back muscles and holding that position there. Guys on the chair, hands on, gently sitting hips back, arms nice and extended, nice and long. Great, and relax there. And when we're ready, guys, we're going to stand up nice and tall. For our last stretch, we're going to stretch out our calves. So we're going to start by taking one foot back, 1 foot forward, heels nice and flat on the floor, toes pointing forward. We're going to keep the back leg nice and straight, bending the right knee, just gently shifting your weight forward to increase the stretch through the back of the calf. And just gently holding that position there. And we're just going to focus on some breathing as we finish off our last exercise. So let's focus on a nice deep breath in through your nose and a big breath out through your mouth. And a nice deep breath in through your nose, a big breath out through your mouth. Great work. Let's switch across to the other side. Same exercise, just switching over the other side. So back leg straight, just gently bending that front knee, shifting your weight forward to increase the stretch through the back of the calf. And just focusing on some breathing. So let's focus on a nice deep breath in through your nose. Big breath out through your mouth. And once more, nice and deep breath in through your nose. Big breath out through your mouth. And relax there. That's all done for our workout, guys. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next session.